It's been slightly over a week since Ndanjijimana Calixte married his partner, with whom they are now on a journey as husband and wife. With his mobile phone, Calixte shows us his wedding photos attended by 28 people, instead of at least 200 as he had planned before the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, for him, the only unusual thing was the wedding happened without the traditional wedding ceremony.
I
thought my wedding would bring together long-lost family members, ones whom we haven't seen in a long time, but things changed with the COVID-19 pandemic. Our paternal aunts from both sides missed the wedding. The traditional giveaway ceremony that we didn't do is the important one. It's our tradition as Rwandans, but it didn't happen.
In addition to marriage ceremonies, other activities that bring together crowds such as concerts and other sports and recreation activities are also prohibited, hence why you will find infrastructure where these functions are normally held would be often closed. For Muyoboche Alex, who normally organizes concerts and other public events, he says that pandemic didn't only disrupt the culture industry economically, something he shares in common with his colleague Mupenda Ramadan.
We are naturally social people. That's our culture. Before, we used to dance. When someone gave birth, we would go to visit them. But now it's not possible. The same applies to baptism ceremonies. That's all not possible now. If I can no longer embrace you and hug you like before, that's a challenge. When you meet someone that you have missed, you have to greet them from a distance. Imagine even losing someone and you can't go for the burial. This pandemic continues to rob us of all this. All relationships and social gatherings are characterized by entertainment. Even on Umuganura Day, it calls for entertainment. People meet so that they can have fun and share what's new and reminisce of what has transpired and look ahead. All this was halted. Without concerts or football games for people to go to stadiums, there is no social life.
On the other hand, there are those who find this a great lesson for the world, especially Rwandans.
There are some young people that now look at the budgeting as a relief because it has greatly reduced costs, which they find is no problem at all. For instance, if one's initial wedding budget was 5 million, that will definitely be less if you are now to have 30 guests. It reduced.
Umubyeyi Claudite, a culture trainer, says that this is not the first time Rwanda has been hit by a pandemic and acknowledges that Rwandans have always been resilient with their culture. Each disaster has values that are not accounted for in the same way. Rwandan values continue to coexist with such times. Currently, we are required to be patient, discerning, respectful, and not be overwhelmed by bad times. The Ministry of Youth and Culture says the issue is being closely monitored and that it's not in vain as it is in talks with other agencies to find a solution. However, President Paul Kagame insists that all actions are based on the nature of the pandemic and that it should be understood by everyone.
What we can or will help is based on the COVID-19 pandemic because it's responsible for the absence of this entertainment and fun they had. It was not Rwanda that took it away. Who would wish that they don't have this entertainment? After all, they had it before because there were means that were put in place to facilitate it. Every day we were investing in things that would make it easier for recreational activities to take place, even in rural areas. However, now the pandemic has come and halted it.
While the COVID-19 pandemic still exists, many questions are being raised about the resumption of community gatherings. Some are wondering if the resumption of games and concerts is possible if attendees are required to test for COVID-19 as it is being done for wedding guests, while others question how many people are able to pay for the tests, saying the government should reduce the price for testing to make it available for more people.